Hi everyone, I'm Carol Keller, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Illinois in the United States. And today I have the first of two cards that I will be showing you as part of my May Sweet of the Month program. That's a program where if you purchase the bundle of the month from me, then I will send you the components to make two cards, both of which you will see on my YouTube channel, so that you can create along with me even though we're not in person. If you want more information on the Sweet of the Month program, just contact me. And today, like I said, we will be using the Oval Occasions bundle, which is in the January to June 2021 mini catalog. The punch will be continuing into the annual catalog, has continued into the annual catalog, but the stamp set has not. So if you do like what you see and you want to place an order, you need to do that before the end of the catalog period at the end of June, and everything is available while supplies last. All right, I'm going to turn my camera around so that we can get started. Here is the card we will be creating today. So again, it's using the Oval Occasions bundle, which consists of a stamp set and a punch, and I will show everything to you at the end so you can see exactly where to find it and in which catalog. But I'm going to start with a very vanilla card base. And it's funny because I've been wanting to use very vanilla. My go-to is definitely basic white, but I wanted to change it up, and I also wanted to use the paper, the designer series paper, this actual sheet that comes from the Pansy Petals designer series paper pack. And it worked out that there was vanilla in the background instead of white. So that is what we're using today. I'm just going to give it a burnish so it lies nice and flat with my bone folder. And I already cut a piece of the beautiful designer series paper from the Pansy Petals pack, like I said, and it is 4 inches by 4 inches, or if you are doing an A4 card, it would be 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. You want it square, and then you will be able to make your gap for the middle by doing it that way. So I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer so we can cut it. And all I did was line it up at the 1-inch mark here and also right here. So if you put both of the points of the corners on the 1-inch mark, or in metric 2.5 centimeter mark, and then we're just going to cut, and then that gives you 2 pieces of the same size. And we are just going to create a little gap on the card, which gives us space where we can, if you wanted to, you could stamp a sentiment in the middle, but in this case we're going to use that wonderful oval punch, the double punch, and some flowers, which I will talk about in a minute. But we are going to first adhere these, and I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal. And so now we have our base for the front, and for the, now we'll do some stamping. And to do this, I'm actually going to bring in my Oval Occasions punch. Normally, I stamp first and then punch, but in this case, I'm going to punch first and then stamp. And you can see I've just got a scrap of fresh Freesia, and I'm cutting both of them out. And you'll see why. We're going to use the larger one actually for the inside of the card. And then I've got a scrap of polished pink, and I'm just going to cut out the larger oval for that one, the scalloped one. And I'm going to fess up that I didn't realize that this is actually Melon Mambo, but it works on the card. You can't really tell that much, but if you look closely, you'll see that there is a difference in shade, and this is what I used here was the polished pink. But like I said, it worked on the card, and I had already adhered it before I realized that, and I didn't want to change it. So you definitely could go with Melon Mambo for that color as well. Love that our colors coordinate so well. So for our stamping, we are going to be using those fresh Freesia pieces, and we're going to use polished pink for all of our stamping. So I decided to do a happy birthday card. So I've got the happy birthday sentiment for the smaller of the ovals. even without a photopolymer stamp that you can see through, you can see that it's easy to line up. And then for this one, actually on the inside of the card, I decided to add a label in there too, really because when I punched it out, normally I would punch or cut, I should say, a strip of paper to put through here if I only wanted the bottom one cut, but I hadn't done that, and so then I just decided, well, I'll punch both of them out and then maybe use it for another project, and then I got the inspiration to actually use it for this one. I think the easiest way is to stamp the flowers first in the corner, or sort of along the oval, and then we're going to take our sentiment, sweet friend, and stamp it a little bit away from that. And so the inside of our card is already completed, but while we have the stamps out, we're also going to stamp on the front of the envelope. And I used the same flower grouping here and the happy birthday sentiment. You could do sweet friend too, of course, if you wanted to. And so now we have our envelope, and all of our stamping is done. And so for the next part, we will layer this on the inside. You could color it in if you wanted to, but I decided I was going to go with something that was a little quicker. So I didn't do that, but like I said, you certainly could. So there's our inside completed, and on the outside we will layer these together. So that's ready to go. And now the flowers, which I have already pre-cut with my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, these come from the Perennial Petals dies. And these are just so gorgeous, and I'm sad to say that they are actually retiring at the end of the January to June mini catalog. So if you love them, now is the time to order them because they're not going to be here for much longer. I was very sad to see that they did not continue into the new annual catalog, unfortunately. So I pre-cut these in polished pink, fresh freesia, and pale papaya, and I'm going to put them together just with some glue dots. Just layer them. I wanted to layer them. I wanted that fuller look. You could certainly do it just with one instead of two, but I just thought that would work better. And then I'm going to bring my card in, and the same thing, I'm going to just use glue dots for the backs of two of them, and we're going to use some dimensionals on this and this. Whoops. So I'm going to put this flower about in the middle of that open section, so about here, and I'm going to double check, make sure this is going to fit. Maybe about like that, so I think that's good. And our polished pink with a little bit of overlap. And I've got a small Stampin' Dimensional to pop up the little flower so that it will be hidden underneath. Look at that, fits perfectly in there. We're going to pop that one up. And we're going to pop this up also with the regular dimensionals. Just sort of use a couple spaced out pretty evenly so that the whole thing is supported. And then this one's going to go here. And actually I am, even though it's got dimensionals, I'm going to pop up those petals a little bit. The more dimension, the better. And we're actually almost done. The only thing I'm going to add is the loose flower flourishes. And they come in fresh freesia and in polished pink and in pale papaya. And normally they come with both sizes, the two sizes of flowers in each color. So pale papaya, polished pink, and fresh freesia in the large one, and the same 3 colors in the small one. And mine actually came without the large pale papaya flowers. So I contacted Stampin' Up! And they're sending me a new one. They are fabulous about fixing mistakes like that. So I used my glue dots again to adhere these, and this one fits great on the back. It doesn't really show at all. And that one I just decided to change up the colors because I really wanted them to show rather than doing tone on tone and putting for example, the polished pink on the polished pink. You don't see it as well, so I changed that up and put them on the different colors. And now this one, the smaller ones are smaller than the glue dot, but you can just kind of, they're not that much smaller, but if you want you can fold them underneath a little bit to make sure that they don't show. And then last but not least, the pale papaya. And tuck it under a little bit. It's wanting to stick to my finger, but you want it nice and strong because then it's going to stay on your card. And that is certainly the objective there. All right, and that is it. Our card is complete. I hope you like it. And now I will walk you through the items that I used for the card. So like I said, I started with the Oval Occasions stamp set and punch. The bundle, of course, is available for 10% off. And the punch, but not the stamp set, are continuing in the new annual catalog. So if you want the stamp set, you can still get it as a bundle and get 10% off. So that's what we use today. I also used the Perennial Petals dies, which are these, and I will show you them in person as well. They're beautiful. I love the delicate way that the flowers come together just with the dies, but there is a companion stamp set for this also, and I've seen them like this where you stamp and then cut out your petal and then lay it over, which is pretty as well. So this would cut out the outline, or this would be the outline to cut out this, and then this to layer it on top. And very delicate. I love the leaves and everything, how detailed they are. So that is what I use. These dies are what I use for the flowers, and this also is available as a bundle for 10% off, and it is also sadly not continuing in the annual catalog. I was really hoping to see that, but unfortunately it did not continue. So again, if you want it, now is the time to get it. And I also used, for the designer series paper, the Pansy Petals designer series paper, and I will show you that in person as well. That's on page 132 of the catalog. And I did forget to say, Perennial Petals dies are on page 31, Oval Occasions on page 65, both of those in the January to June mini. And then last but not least, the loose flower flourishes, which are right here on page 141 of the new annual catalog. And here is that gorgeous Pansy Petals designer series paper. There are dies that go along with a stamp set, and they do cut out both sizes of the flowers on this sheet. This is the one obviously we use today, but there are some beautiful designs. And then for the other side, which I have already used in a couple of cards, I think this one and this one. So nice coordinating colors and designs to go with what's on the front. Those were the items that I used today. Again, I'm glad you joined me, and I hope you liked the card. I hope we will see you again soon for our next Sweet of the Month. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.